Every Zelda game is a masterpiece. Or at least they are according to ChatGPT. I recently asked our new AI overlord to rank every single The Legend of Zelda game according to its opinion. I felt asking for its opinion to be an important distinction, as I didn't want it just going by Metacritic rankings or some objective list online of what the best Legend of Zelda games are. And you know what? ChatGPT actually gave me a pretty solid list. It has some weird bits like calling every Legend of Zelda game a masterpiece. But hey, seeing as Zelda is one of my favorite franchises of all time, I'm not gonna argue. So I'm gonna go over the top 15 games in ChatGPT's list and read out its reasoning for why it put that game in that position. It's genuinely surprising how good this list actually is and how in-depth the reasoning is for each game. So, starting with number 15, ChatGPT has Skyward Sword, with it saying, "This game is a masterpiece of origin and motion storytelling that reveals the beginning of the legend of the Master Sword. It features a beautiful and giant world that can be flown with a giant bird named Loftwing, a romantic and epic story that involves Zelda, Girahim, and Demise, a stunning and orchestral soundtrack that uses a harp as a gameplay mechanic, and groundbreaking and immersive gameplay that offers motion control swordplay and flying as key elements. This game is a masterpiece that appeals to fans who enjoy a cinematic and motion-based Zelda game." I don't know if I would call Skyward Sword a masterpiece, or if I would describe its motion controls as immersive or groundbreaking, not unless it immersed me in constant minor annoyances and it broke ground with how many Wiimotes it broke in a record time. But anyways, heading to number 14 on ChatGPT's list, we have Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, with it saying, "This game is a masterpiece of experimental and ambitious storytelling that continues the story of The Legend of Zelda and The Legend of the Sleeping Princess. It features a large and diverse world that can be explored in both side-scrolling or overhead view modes, a complex but intriguing story that involves Link's shadow, the Triforce of Courage, and Zelda's ancestor, a catchy and varied soundtrack that uses different themes for different areas, and a difficult but satisfying gameplay that offers RPG elements, magic spells." It kinda seems like it just trod off there at the end, but that's what I got. Just being honest, I haven't played Zelda 2, so I'll just go with what the robot said. Moving on to number 13, our new AI overlord has the original Legend of Zelda as the 13th best game in the series. Going on to describe it, it says, "The game is a masterpiece of pioneering and influential storytelling that introduces the land of Hyrule and the legend of the Triforce. It features a vast open world that can be explored in any order, a simple but captivating story that involves Zelda, Ganon, and Link, a memorable and iconic soundtrack that defines the Zelda sound, and a challenging and rewarding gameplay that offers many items, dungeons, and secrets. The game is a masterpiece that appeals to fans who appreciate the origins of Zelda." Not sure where I would put this one honestly, but hey, it's not my list, so onwards we go. ChatGPT gives the number 12 spot to The Legend of Zelda: Phantom Hourglass, saying, "This game is a masterpiece of innovative and intuitive storytelling that explores the world of the Ocean King and the legend of the Phantom Sword. It features a vast and mysterious world that can be sailed with a talking ship named Linebeck, a thrilling and humorous story that involves Tetra, Bellum, and Oshus, a cheerful and nautical soundtrack that uses sea shanties as a gameplay mechanic, and an original and immersive gameplay that offers stylus control, mic blowing, and map drawing as key features. This game is a masterpiece we get it, it's a masterpiece, that appeals to fans who enjoy a unique and experimental Zelda game." I have a feeling that I'm gonna say masterpiece so many times in this video. Alright. I really enjoyed Phantom Hourglass personally, but I know a lot of players didn't, so I'm okay with this ranking. Number 11, The Legend of Zelda: Spirit Tracks. This is another one I've never played, so I'll just go with the AI on this one. "This game is a masterpiece of adventurous and musical storytelling that explores the land of New Hyrule and the legend of the Spirit Flute. It features an expansive and varied world that can be traveled with a customizable train, an exciting and charming story that involves Zelda, Byrne, Madalis, and Angie, a lively and melodic soundtrack that uses a spirit flute as a gameplay mechanic, and an engaging and cooperative gameplay that offers Zelda possession, train driving, and duet playing as key elements. The game is a masterpiece that appeals to fans who enjoy a modern and musical Zelda game." Okay, now for ChatGPT's top 10 The Legend of Zelda games of all time. According to its opinion, of course. Because, you know, robots have opinions in 2023, and that's okay. At number 10, this mother-fracking robot has The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of the Ages. This is one I simply cannot agree with, but again, it's not my list, so here we go. These games are masterpieces of interconnected and complementary storytelling that explore the lands of Holodrum and Labrynna and the legend of the Oracle Duo. They feature two distinct and dynamic worlds that can be changed with the Rod of Seasons and the Harp of Ages. Two separate and complex stories that involve Din, Naryu, Onyx, Viren, and Twinrova. Two diverse and fitting soundtracks that use different themes for different seasons or ages, and two different and balanced gameplays that offer season manipulation or time travel as key mechanics. These games are masterpieces that appeal to fans who enjoy playing two Zelda games in one. Pretty sure they were two separate games, but whatever. Okay, moving on to a bit better of a game. At number 9, ChatGPT has The Legend of Zelda, The Minish Cap. This was actually one of my favorite Game Boy Advance games, so I can get down with this choice. ChatGPT says, this game is a masterpiece of cute and charming storytelling that explores the tiny world of the Minish and the legend of the Four Swords. It features a colorful and lively world that can be shrunk with a talking hat named Eslo, a fun and humorous story that involves Vati, Zelda, and the Light Force, a catchy and varied soundtrack that uses different instruments for different areas, and an inventive and enjoyable gameplay that offers kingstone fusing, figurine collecting, and elemental abilities. This game is a masterpiece that appeals to fans who enjoy a whimsical Zelda game. Number 8. 8's great. Me and 8 are mates. Alright, I'll stop now.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
At number 8, ChatGPT told me to put The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. I tried to tell it this wasn't a good idea, but it insisted, saying, this game is a masterpiece of clever and creative storytelling that explores the parallel world of Lorule and the legend of the hero's painting. It features a familiar and nostalgic world that can be traversed with a wall merging ability, a surprising and twisty story that involves Yuga, Hilda, and Ravio, a remix and original soundtrack that pays homage to A Link to the Past, and a fresh and fun gameplay that offers item renting, dungeon order choice, and 3D effects. This game is a masterpiece that appeals to fans who enjoy both old and new Zelda games. I don't know why it says it features a gameplay. It features a gameplay. So that's a weird thing, but okay. Anyway, at least it rightfully called A Link Between Worlds a masterpiece, but it should have been higher up on the list for sure. Oh well. At 7, we both agree that Link's Awakening is yet again another masterpiece. Well, a dreaming masterpiece anyway. Weirdly, I'm pretty sure this one cuts its description off short, but what can you do? I, for one, am not going to argue with my future boss, so anyways, this is what it says about Link's Awakening. This game is a masterpiece of surreal and dreamlike storytelling that explores the mysterious island of Koholint and the legend of the Windfish. It features a quirky and imaginative world that can be accessed with a teleporting rooster, a mysterious and touching story that involves Marin. And that's where it cuts it off. I guess ChatGPT was just done. So there you go. That is its description of Link's Awakening and why it's number 7. Okay, so number 6 I would personally rank a bit higher, but at least it's a top 10 choice, so I'll take it. ChatGPT says that number 6 is The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. You know, that wonderful pirate adventure that Nintendo will seemingly never bring to the Switch. ChatGPT says, this game is a masterpiece of colorful and charming storytelling that explores the Great Sea and the legend of the Hero of Winds. It features a vibrant and lively world that can be sailed with a talking boat named King of Red Lions, a whimsical and heartwarming story that involves Tetra, Ganondorf, and the Triforce, a cheerful and catchy soundtrack that uses sea shanties as a gameplay mechanic, and an innovative and expressive gameplay that uses cel shading graphics and wind direction as key elements. This game is a masterpiece that appeals to fans who prefer a lighter tone for Zelda. I would have had Wind Waker much higher up, maybe ranked 3 or 4, but anyways. Alright, we're at the top 5. But before we dig into our Robot Pals top 5 Legend of Zelda games, I'd like to say thank you to this video's sponsor. It's you, the viewer. Seeing as I'm a small upstart YouTube channel, every one of you that watches the video this far is a great help, and I'm super appreciative to every single one of you, more than you even know. So if you enjoyed the video and want more cool Nintendo content, feel free to subscribe, hit the like for the algorithm, and ring the bell so you know every time I post. Now back to our big robot daddy's favorite Zelda games. At number 5, we have The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess, another game that Nintendo seems like it will never bring to Switch. I'm actually in the process of playing the Wii U version of this right now, and so far it's definitely a great game. I might have put it behind Wind Waker, but I really can't say yet without finishing it. I will say the more mature and dark vibe is something I'd love them to explore again. Here's what RoboDaddy says about Twilight Princess. This game is a masterpiece of dark and mature storytelling that delves into the Twilight realm and the legend of the hero's shade. It features a vast and beautiful world that can be explored in both light and twilight forms, a gripping and emotional story that involves Midna, Zant, and Ganondorf, a majestic and orchestral soundtrack that enhances the mood and tone of the game, and a refined and polished gameplay that offers many items, skills, puzzles, and bosses. This game is a masterpiece that appeals to fans who prefer a darker tone for Zelda. Okay. Number 4. El Cuatro Zelda Gameo. ChatGPT has Majora's Mask sitting in this spot, and I kind of agree. It's honestly hard for me to rank this one appropriately because this was my first ever Zelda game, and I did love it, but I also hated it. The time mechanic confused the mess out of me as a kid, but once I revisited it a few years later, I really liked it a lot. Skull Kid was a really fun villain character, and that moon still looks sick. It's a really cool tattoo idea, actually. Anyways, here's what Chatty Boy said about Majora's Mask. This game is a masterpiece of dark and surreal storytelling that explores themes of death, grief, fate, and identity. It features a unique and haunting world that is doomed to be destroyed in 3 days, unless the player can use the power of masks to manipulate time and change events. It also features a deep and complex side quest system that involves helping various characters with their personal problems, like collecting chickens. Revealing their stories and personalities, the music is atmospheric and emotional. The gameplay is challenging and varied, and the story is unforgettable. This game is a masterpiece that deserves more recognition. I think Majora's Mask gets plenty of recognition, honestly, but, okay, whatever. Not my list. I won't argue. And we're at the top 3. I think these will surprise absolutely no one, and it's honestly the least exciting part of the list, because they're all pretty traditional answers, but they aren't wrong either. At number 3, we get The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. For me, this was the first Zelda game that really hit. It was a phenomenal game that really put this series on the map. Here's ChatGPT's take. This game is a masterpiece of 2D gaming that refined and expanded the Zelda formula established by the first game. It features a large and detailed world that can be accessed in 2 parallel dimensions, a captivating story that involves the 7 sages and the Dark World, a catchy and iconic soundtrack that defines the Zelda sound, and a challenging and rewarding gameplay that offers many items, dungeons, and secrets. This game is a gem that still holds up today. Cannot argue there. A Link to the Past is a wonderful game. 100% agree with it being number 3 on this list. Okay, at number 2, which will most definitely be some of you guys' number 1, is Ocarina of Time. The first 3D Zelda that did for this series what Mario 64 did for our favorite plumber. This game holds up so well and is still an amazing playthrough to this day. The Chatterlord says, this game is a classic that revolutionized 3D gaming and set the standard for many action-adventure games to come. It features a memorable and epic story that spans 2 timelines, a rich and diverse world to explore with many secrets and side quests, a brilliant soundtrack that uses an ocarina as a gameplay mechanic, and a satisfying combat system that introduced Z-targeting. This game is a timeless masterpiece that deserves all the praise it gets. Agreed there, and I think nobody will argue that Ocarina of Time is either the best or the second best Zelda game of all time, and I'm pretty sure we all know what's coming at number 1. This is no surprise, and I'm sure everybody's guessed it by now. At numero uno, it's The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. This game is absolutely my favorite Zelda, and possibly my favorite game of all time. It's just such a wonderful, creative game that really allowed you to just do whatever. I still find myself booting it up just to run around and cause chaos GTA style. It has the exploration of Skyrim, with the charm that only Nintendo can bring. I absolutely agree with this being number 1. It's the obvious choice, so me and my RoboPal here agree on this one. ChatGPT says, this game is a masterpiece of open world exploration, freedom, and creativity. It offers a stunning and diverse landscape to explore, filled with secrets, puzzles, enemies, and wildlife. It also reinvents the Zelda formula by giving the player more tools and options to approach any situation. The music is subtle but beautiful. The story is engaging and emotional, and the gameplay is smooth and responsive. This game is a must-play for any Zelda fan or anyone who loves adventure games. Alright, so that's the top Legend of Zelda games according to ChatGPT. We learned that every Zelda game is a masterpiece. There were a few surprises in there, but overall, I thought this was a pretty solid list. This was a really interesting thing to do, so next I think I'll let Papa Robot rank the top Mario games of all time. We'll see if it does justice to our favorite plumber of all time, or if the internet is gonna have to rip ChatGPT a new one. Anyways, thanks for watching, have a good one.